is Chelsea, and I travel full-time out of a 23-foot camper trailer. It's me, my dog Banks, and whoever wants to travel with me along the way. I put out weekly videos of my nomadic travels and travel tips for you guys. If you are interested in living this lifestyle yourself, it means a lot to me, and let's just get started. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 9 things that you should know before you get a Doberman Pinscher. So I have a Doberman Pinscher. She's right here. Her name is Banks. She is 2 years old and I am extremely attached to her. Tattoo of her on my arm. Doberman Pinschers are the most beautiful, elegant looking dogs. They have a fierce look to them and they also come with a reputation. So if you are planning on getting a dog, specifically a Doberman Pinscher, these are the things that you should know about them before you make that plunge. So I'm going to break this into 2 different categories, being physically some things that you should know about them, and then personality wise what you can expect from them in that aspect as well. So number 1, their ears and tails. So the breed standard for what a Doberman Pinscher should look like would be having the cropped ears that stand straight up and the docked tail, as well as their dew claws removed. When I got Banks, she already had a docked tail and she had her dew claws removed. I want to warn you about the ears. Dobermans with cropped ears look amazing. They are absolutely beautiful. They make them look really intimidating, really sharp, absolutely gorgeous animals. However, the process of getting those ears to stand is a nightmare. I had Banks's ears done when she was 8 weeks old and I regret it every day. I wish that I hadn't have put her through that. I wish I hadn't have wasted my own time. Taping the ears and getting them to stand is really hard work. You have to be really dedicated to it, and unless you are showing your Doberman or you are an experienced Doberman Pinscher owner, I do not recommend doing this to your dog. It is unnecessary because it is purely aesthetic. Banks has them done, but they have fallen, so she just looks like she has like airplane wings on the side of her head all the time. I think she's adorable, but I do wish I hadn't done it. The taping process took about 7 months for her. I stopped taping because I knew she was uncomfortable. I didn't want to put her through that anymore, and I didn't really care how she looked. I didn't get my Doberman Pinscher for the aesthetic of it. I wanted a solid companion, and I still have that, so I let her ears fall. Not to mention, this entire process is extremely controversial anyway. This being my first dog ever, I shouldn't have done that. I have learned a lesson, and I hope that other people can just learn from my mistakes, and I just wouldn't recommend doing their ears. However, I am glad that she had her dew claws removed before I got her, and I am glad that her tail was docked because these are large animals and they are strong animals, and when they hook you around the leg with their arms, that dew claw would have hurt really bad, and when they wag their nubs, if that thing was a full tail, it would have knocked over so much stuff in my life. I'm cool with her tail, I'm cool with her dew claws, not cool with her ears. Physically, trait number 2. These are working dogs, meaning they need a ton of exercise and they are great at working. Banks and I went through protection dog training together for about a year before I set out on my trip that I am currently still on. I loved watching her learn. I loved watching her when I sent her on a run to apprehend somebody or protect me. It was a really good bonding experience for her and I both, but I'm telling you, you need to exercise these dogs every day. They are built for working, they are built for exercise. She's basically all lung and all muscle, so this dog runs. One of Banks's favorite games is fetch, so I bought one of those sticks. They're called Chuckets, and I play fetch with her as often as I possibly can. Although we do live on the road also, so she is hiking with me. She is outside a lot of the time, and that is a really good lifestyle for this type of dog. Do not expect a walk around the block every day to be enough exercise. You literally need to take this dog to a dog park and run them out. Number 3, physically. These dogs do come with several health issues. One of the first things that I got done for her was when I got her fixed, I also had them go ahead and perform a gastropexy on her, which is where they take the stomach lining and sew it to the inside walls of her body so that the stomach will not turn. There's a thing that happens to barrel-chested dogs called bloat, and is where the stomach turns on its axis. Literally can kill a dog within a couple hours, and several things can cause bloat. Even something as simple as drinking too much water or eating too soon before or after exercising. I didn't want to take the chance. It's a preventative procedure, and I went ahead and got that done when I had her fixed. The lifespan of a Doberman is usually around 10 to 12 years long, but some people will have their Dobermans pass away as early as 7 from enlarged hearts, hip dysplasia, other diseases. So just be aware of the health of your dog. You're going to have to feed your dog good food. It is going to be a little bit more expensive, and they do eat a lot, especially while they're growing. So just be aware of these things. So moving on into their personality traits, which is my favorite part of owning a Doberman Pinscher. These dogs are just incredible. They really take on personality traits of their owner a lot of the time. They're just really cool. So that brings me to trait number 4. These are Velcro dogs, okay? And when I say Velcro dog, I mean they are going to follow you everywhere. Do not think that you're going to be able to walk down the stairs and go do laundry without your dog following you. Don't think that you're going to be able to run to the bathroom or kitchen or take a shower or bath without that dog literally laying outside of your door or trying to get to you. Banks follows me everywhere. I'm telling you, she could be dead asleep on the bed, and if I try to sneak up just to like go get a glass of water or something, she's going to follow me regardless of whether or not she even wants to. She's tired, she's gonna do it. They're Velcro dogs. They wait for you to get home just like every other dog, but it's it's intense. So just be prepared to have a literal shadow of a dog following you all the time. Number 5, these animals are insanely smart. They're so intelligent, which is really good, but can have its downsides as well. On the plus side, they are extremely trainable. They learn so quickly. Mine in particular is really food oriented. We went through a 9-week board and train program when she was about 7 months old. We have practice on that ever since she got back, and she's just they're smart animals is all I can say. They are smart animals. The downside of that intelligence is that if you do not train them and if you do not exercise them and work them the way they are meant to be worked, they will find ways to annoy you and destroy your house in ways that you never thought were even possible for a dog. You have to train these animals. If there is one piece of advice that I hope you take away from this video, is that you cannot get a Doberman Pinscher without formal training. I would not recommend, I absolutely would not recommend having a Doberman Pinscher if you're just going to have it be a house dog that lays around and not invest time and money into training. I will go ahead and say that I have spent about $2,000 in her lifetime getting her formally trained, whether or not that be basic obedience and off-leash training or protection dog training, which she has done all of those. Trait number 6, they are not super sociable with other people. And what I mean by that is that they really are 1 to 2 people dogs. They have a primary person that they listen to, and then they can have a secondary person as well that they are used to. They can be good family dogs if they are raised from a young age with children and with the family, but generally speaking, from my own experience in having Banks and meeting other Doberman Pinschers, is that it's not that they're mean to people, it's just that they don't really care for the affection of people that aren't their owners or handlers. I kind of actually like that in her, because being on the road and traveling full-time, I rely on her a lot for protection and companionship, and I don't really want anyone else to be able to tell her what to do or control her. I like that she only really listens to me. That's fine with me and doesn't bother me. But that might not be fine for you or somebody else. When we are out at dinner and people want to come and say hi to her, or we're on a walk and they want to pet her, she doesn't care. She doesn't want to be pet by anyone. She doesn't care about their affection, and it comes off as kind of like rude or unlovable. I, quite frankly, like I said, don't mind that. I'm not really trying to socialize either. She's not aggressive towards people. She just doesn't care. All the other Dobermans I've met, they're kind of the same way. They'll take a pat on the head, but they're not gonna like cuddle up with you like they would if they were your dog. I know that there are other breeds that you can meet in public that just love affection, like golden retrievers, blah blah blah, but this is just not one of those dogs that you really introduce to people to like make them feel lovey. Number 7, these dogs are protective. They have a reputation for this. They are used and were initially bred as a protection dog. I believe that the person that initially bred this dog was a man in Germany who was a tax collector, and he used to go about his job with this dog for the reason of protecting himself when he was walking around with the collected taxes, or if he was making someone mad by asking for the taxes, the dog was there to always protect him. They are incredibly loyal. I am convinced that Banks has already saved my life at least once on the road by alerting me to someone outside my camper, and then she's also a pretty good deterrent because she does look intimidating. People aren't really keen on walking up to my campsite if she's outside, or if I'm walking down the road with her or on a hike with her. People kind of leave me alone. They'll cross the street in order to avoid walking past me. I like it, you might not, but that's something to consider as well. They're protective. Instinctually, they will do that. They will defend their owners, and it's also really cool if you can send them to protection dog training, because then you know how to control that aspect of them and get them to protect only on command. Number 8, these dogs do really well with schedules and control. Some people like to say that the alpha dog thing is a myth. Some people say that it's everything. Personally, I believe that because dogs come from pack mentality, there is some truth to having an alpha personality when it comes to having a dog. Some dogs you don't really need to have control over that much, especially if they're a smaller breed or if they are very sweet and lovable. However, if you are going to have a breed like a Doberman Pinscher who was built for protection and can develop aggression issues, you need to have some type of control over them. You have to establish yourself as the leader. I'm not saying go beat the shit out of your dog when they mess up. I'm just saying you need to find a way to positively reinforce when they listen to you. For me, if Banks doesn't do something the first time I say it, the second time she's going to do it. I'm either going to reinforce it with a stern voice, or I'm going to reinforce it with a positive affirmation like food. She doesn't really respond to good girl. When it comes to scheduling, this is really important, especially when it comes to training and potty training, as it is with every dog. Make sure that you train them at an early age. And just a little side note here that I should throw in, it's really cool to have a larger breed dog because they can hold their pee for longer. They're easy to potty train. Number 9, the final thing that I want to say about owning a Doberman Pinscher is that there is a stigma attached to these dogs, just like there's a stigma attached to German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, Rottweilers, the like. There is a stigma to having a Doberman Pinscher. People are going to look at you sideways sometimes. They are going to judge you much harsher than they do other dog breed owners when your dog acts up or if it barks at somebody. It drives me insane when I walk by a campground and there is these little dogs just yapping away and barking really aggressively at me or at Banks, and she's just walking by like it's nothing. Like, that is still aggressive behavior. If Banks ever gets mad at another dog at a dog park for like stealing her toy or continuously nipping her or something, as soon as she turns around and tries to defend herself from an unwanted male hump, the dog owners do have a tendency to get mad at me as if it's not their little dog's fault. All I'm trying to say is prepare for dirty looks sometimes, prepare for a stigma against your dog, and prepare for harsher judgment when your dog acts up. There are places that don't allow certain breeds in their establishments. Doberman Pinschers are on the list of bully breeds. There are places that she was not allowed to go before I made her a service dog. Now she has all access, but before she really did not. So that's also something to keep in mind if you are a person that likes to have your dog on you all the time. There are places that will not let you have a Doberman Pinscher. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope that it helped you learn a couple things about the Doberman Pinscher breed, what to expect, what not to do, and what to definitely do. Like I said, if there's one thing that you should take away from this video is that if you do get a Doberman Pinscher, do not neglect the training. Spend time and money on it. It's going to cost you something unless you are an expert trainer yourself. Do not neglect this dog's working needs. It is in their blood, it is in their brain, it's in their nature. Just train them. Other than that, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next one.